Welcome to the Go Higher Show, where we are dedicated to higher levels of leadership, purpose, and the power of transformation. We empower and equip leaders to rise, mindsets to transform, and legacies to evolve. Hosted by Mr. Hakim Erwin, author, leadership and public speaking coach, and the Transformational Influencer. Here on the Go Higher Show, we are dedicated to helping individuals transform your mindset, build character and emotional intelligence, develop executive presence, lead with integrity and influence, and prepare for greater assignments. Welcome again to the Go Higher Show. Let's go. Welcome to the Go Higher Show. I am your host, Mr. Hakim Erwin, and I am an author. I am a leadership and public speaking coach. I'm a podcast host, founder of Greater Faith and Favor Life, LLC, and most importantly, your transformational influencer. The Go Higher Show is brought to you by Greater Faith and Favor Life, LLC, where the vision is believe greater, live greater. Now, on today, what we are going to be talking about is the dangers of unpreparedness. And we're going to try something a little bit different, right? We're going to pivot with this 6th episode into giving you the live version of the Go Higher Show. So at first, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who has supported the first 5 episodes of the Go Higher Show. And those episodes, if just in case this is your first time listening, I want to give you the titles of those episodes so that way you can go to the YouTube channel, Go Higher Show, or at Go Higher Show 6605. You can also support us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Buzzsprout, all on the Go Higher Show. So with this 6th episode, I want to basically give you the intro with letting you know about the first 5 episodes. Okay, so hopefully you want to go back, look at those episodes, and then get caught up to where we are. Episode number 1, we talked about the transformational influencer. Right? Just introducing you to myself, the transformational influencer, letting you know what a transformational influencer is and how you as well can become not just a leader, but a transformational influencer as well. Because one of our main goals here at Greater Faith and Favor Life is I want to be able to do my part in helping to change the narrative to how leadership is viewed. One of the things that I was really blessed to learn over the years as I've done seminars and different trainings on leadership and management, I've begun to see factually wise how the number one cause for people leaving employment or leaving their jobs is bad leadership. And so because I really have a passion for building up leaders and helping to transform people's lives professionally and personally, leadership is a really impactful way to influence individuals. And that just didn't sit well with me. The fact that people were leaving jobs because of leaders. And I've been in that position. So I really understand what that is like. And so I want to do my part in helping individuals and be that transformational influencer for people who really want to make a change in leadership. So that was the first episode. The second episode was about emotional intelligence in high level rooms. Now, if you've never heard about emotional intelligence, then I highly suggest that you go on YouTube or any LinkedIn Learning or any platform that really can give you solid information about emotional intelligence, and especially as a leader, how important it is to have emotional intelligence. Episode number 3 was about how leaders build trust. And again, that ties into really wanting to change that narrative about leaders being bad leadership being the number one reason why people leave jobs. So that's actually a very, very good episode. I mean, they're all good episodes, but So episode 4 is actually one of my personal favorites, only because it helped me personally, just listening to my own information and just reminding me basically of how important it is to protect your peace, right? Episode 4 is entitled Protect Your Peace. And there's a lot of great nuggets of information reminding us all about how important it is to protect your peace. And then episode number 5, we are talking about servant leadership. That's that leadership model that turns everything upside down, right? It's that leadership model that people like to talk about, but not a lot of people want to put in the work and make the sacrifices that it takes to be that servant leadership. So we talk about in that episode, we actually go deeper in that episode, because in episode number 1, we bring up the topic of servant leadership, but I mentioned how we're going to address it in a later episode so that we could go deeper. And that's what we did in episode 5. We really went deep into servant leadership and how it truly models the leadership of Yeshua HaMashiach, better known to many as Jesus Christ. So great episode. That was the last episode. So now for episode number 6, we are pivoting into the live version of the Go Higher show. And I really wanted to highlight one of the main themes of my book, Standing with Kings, now available on Amazon.com. All right. But I wanted to really highlight one of the main themes of that book, and that is being prepared. The importance of being prepared. Because if you think about it, right, what really happens when we stand in front of that door and you realize, or that door that we have really been praying for, right? That opportunity that we've really been praying for, only to realize that you're standing there, but you're unprepared to step through that door. Reality hits you, right? And you really understand, hey, man, I've been praying for this door, but my current preparation that I've had won't really sustain me. So in other words, right, you can be called, but still not ready. You can be gifted, but still unstable. So when opportunity meets unpreparedness, it truly doesn't elevate you, but what it does is it exposes you. It exposes our flaws. It exposes the fact that we are really not ready for this door that we've prayed for, and that is in front of us. Because see, your gift can get you to the door, but only being prepared is what would allow us to really step through that door and sustain what it takes to stay in that room. And today's conversation is one that every leader, every dreamer, every carrier of purpose must confront, because nothing sabotages your destiny faster than this one thing. And that is unpreparedness. It is the silent thief of opportunity. It is the quiet disruptor of promotion. And the reason why so many people, again, stand in front of that door only to watch it close right in front of their face. Now, preparation is not an optional thing. It is alignment. And in chapter 1 of my book, Standing Before Kings, I explain how kings reward readiness over potential. But why is that? Think about that. Because see, potential is possibility, but readiness is responsibility. And a king, a CEO, a chief, a governor, a boss, or a leader, any leader in any realm that's really worth their salt, basically, understand that they cannot afford instability. Instability just is something that a true leader cannot afford to have. They don't invest in what might be. They invest in what has been proven, right? That's where the sure investment is. That's where the sure money is. In some way, it has shown that this thing that I'm invested in, this person that I'm investing in, it has proven somehow, some way to be worth this investment. And unpreparedness is very dangerous, because what it creates is a gap between your gift and your capacity. A gap between your gift and your capacity. Because again, your gift may open up that door. It may bring you to the door, but only preparation can truly determine whether you can stay in that room. See, we live in this world that is obsessed with potential, and that's never more evident than in the world of sports. Millions of dollars are invested in potential, but it's the preparation, not the potential, but the preparation that is going to help guarantee or really help us towards or be on the path, the right path to winning championships. And championships is what, in almost every case, is what generates the return on the investment. See, people celebrate what you could be. People celebrate what you might do. And they can even say what you're capable of. But see, kings, leaders, decision makers, they don't reward possibility. They reward proof. And potential is powerful, but it is incomplete. Let me say that one more time. All right. Potential is powerful, but it is incomplete. And see, here's the danger of that. Potential will open up a conversation, but only preparedness will secure that seat. Because again, when that door opens, it's rarely to discover talent, but it's open to deploy the talent, right? To send that talent out. They're not asking, can you do it someday? But what they are asking is, can you handle it right now? So let's break this down, because there are three major dangers that show up when we try to step into opportunities without preparation. The first one is unpreparedness exposes instability. Unpreparedness exposes instability. See, when we're not prepared, pressure reveals it instantly, right away, immediately, right? Untested potential folds under pressure. It can't help itself. It's not built to last. It resists accountability. It ignores correction, and it confuses exposure with elevation. See, a king won't build on instability. That would be truly unwise to do that. A team can't follow instability. A vision cannot survive instability. A vision cannot survive instability. So that's number one. Unpreparedness exposes instability. Number two, unpreparedness disrupts order. Unpreparedness disrupts order. One unprepared voice can disturb the peace of an entire environment. One unprepared voice can deharmonize an otherwise melodious choir, beautiful sounding choir. One unprepared musician can offset an orchestra. One unprepared musician can offset an orchestra. See, kings and all who carry a level of authority operate in the realm of order, foresight, and continuity. When you show up unprepared, you don't just risk your own opportunity, but what you're doing is actually risking the harmony of the whole assignment, of the whole environment sometimes. So that's number two. Unpreparedness disrupts order. And then number three, unpreparedness turns opportunity into liability. Unpreparedness turns opportunity into liability. See, potential pleads for opportunity. Readiness receives responsibility. Potential pleads for opportunity, but readiness receives responsibility. When the door finally opens, potential may again introduce you, but only preparation, as we mentioned before, that is what will sustain you. Unpreparedness turns what should have been a blessing into a burden. And who really is out there looking for burdens to bear, right? Unpreparedness turns what should have been a blessing into a burden. Because unprepared people, they want platforms, but then they reject the process. They want the influence, but they resist the instruction. They want the elevation, right? They want all the props. They want all the elevation, all the high platforms. but they avoid refinement. So when pressure hits, and it will hit, they won't rise. They can't rise. But what they will do is collapse. So that's the three things. Number one, unpreparedness exposes instability. Number two, unpreparedness disrupts order. And number three, unpreparedness turns opportunity into a liability. Now, let me paint this picture for you. Imagine a young man is invited to present before a chief, a real chief, right? A king, a leader entrusted with the well-being of an entire community. That young man is gifted. He's charismatic. He's full of potential. Might be full of some other stuff too, but anyway, he's full of potential. Everyone talks about how talented he is. But when he steps into that room, he's not ready. His ideas are scattered. His answers are very shallow. His posture is anxious. His gift is loud, but his preparation is silent. It's silent. The chief doesn't reject him because he lacks talent, right? He has loads of talent. The chief steps back because he lacks readiness. Now imagine another young man. He's quieter, less flashy, but he's disciplined. He studied, he practiced, he wrestled with the gift in private. He honored the process. He arrives with no noise. But what he does arrive with is mastery. Guess who the chief trusts? Just take a wild guess. Guess who receives the responsibility? And guess who gets invited back? See, kings recognize the accent of preparation because it's calm, consistent, humble, and steady. Now, let me share one more quick story with you. And this one is a little bit more, well, it's actually very true because it just recently happened to me. I applied to another position within the company that I presently work for. Great company. Great manager. Had a really strong first two steps or first two levels of the interview. The last interview was I had to deliver a presentation. Now, I've been doing presentations for well over 16 years. I've been training for over 16 years, pretty much since 2009. I've been training professionally, doing seminars, facilitations. I've spoken to hundreds of people, less than 10 people. I've spoken to thousands of people before. One room, right? A lot of people. I've done many facilitations, trainings, right? And so a part of me took it for granted. I practiced. I did a little bit of practice, right? But in my mind, I looked at it as, okay, I have my day-to-day job that I'm really good at, but I still prepare. Even for my day-to-day job, I just don't take that for granted. So in preparing for this interview, I had to cut out extra time. So I didn't really prepare like I would have if, let's say, I didn't have a job, right? And this was the sole job that I was going to. I already have a job that I actually love. So I don't even know why I actually applied to the job. But anyway, it showed. It showed in, we had a technical problem. And I'm used to having technical problems, right? If you do any kind of training, any type of facilitation, you will have technical issues. And sometimes you have to you really need to know your material. Now, there will be instances, and I've had these happen before too, when it was pretty much on the spot or only had a few minutes to really learn the content before delivering it. But in this situation, we had a lot of technical problems, and you could tell that I really did not know my content. So obviously what happened? I didn't get the job. All right. And I saw later it was because of my unpreparedness. Now, again, if I didn't have a job and that was the sole, my only source of income, potentially, I would have gave it my all. I would have been over prepared. But see, that's the danger. I realized Even when I went and did this podcast, I was like, man, that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened to me. I was unprepared. My gift, my talent, the conversation, my personality, my character, all those things brought me to the door. It got me to the second level. It got me to be one of the last two people for the interview. But my unpreparedness was the reason why it didn't happen. So here are some ways to now avoid the dangers of unpreparedness and step into that realm of readiness. Number one, you want to treat every small assignment like it's a throne room, right? That's what I should have did with that interview. You want to treat every small assignment, not just the large ones, not just the medium-sized ones, but even those small assignments, treat those like it's a throne room, because readiness is built in the shadows. It's built behind the scenes. It's built behind closed doors. If you can't steward the small, then you won't be able to sustain the significant or those big assignments. Number two, embrace discipline over desire. Embrace discipline over desire, because see, desire feels good, but discipline produces results. Preparation is the furnace where gifts are refined. All right. Number three, honor timing instead of fighting it. Honor timing instead of fighting it. Delay is not denial. Sometimes it's actually protection. And Elohim Most High always exalts at the appropriate time, right? Humility is what keeps us grounded until our character can carry our calling. Humility is what keeps us grounded, until our character can carry our calling. Write that one down. That's a good one. All right. But if we're constantly perceiving the delay as a denial, then we could possibly be missing the reality of the protection that delay or denial is actually providing. See, sometimes it's not that we're being overlooked, but it's actually that we are being developed. Because if you get in there too early, then you won't be able to sustain it. You won't protect it, right, with the same oomph as you should. You won't make it a priority like you should. And ultimately, you won't multiply it. And the same door that you prayed for may end up being the place that you fall apart. But you see, when you're prepared, then what appears to come across with ease on the platform was in truth labored in isolation. You went through that furnace, you went through that fire, and you became ready. And see, that's the difference. Private discipline produces public stability. Private discipline produces public stability. Now, unpreparedness is costly. It can delay destiny, damage credibility, and disrupt environments. But you see, readiness is rewarded. Readiness is recognized, and readiness is what kings invest in. So commit to the process. Sharpen your gift. Honor the season that you're in right now. Honor that season. And when the door opens, let your preparation speak louder than your potential, than your gift ever could. All right? And most importantly, I want you to remember this. You weren't created to stay low. You weren't designed to stay average. You were built to go higher. Be blessed. My challenge to you today is, if this episode encouraged, empowered, inspired, or impacted you, or even if it simply planted a seed of transformation, then share it with someone who's ready to lead differently. Thank you again for joining us on the brand new Go Higher Show. I pray you were blessed by the information, the insights, and the challenges that were all shared. For all speaking engagements, public speaking, and leadership coaching, send your request to GFFLIFELLC@gmail.com. That's gfflifellc@gmail.com. Also, be sure to go on over to amazon.com and check out the books Standing Before Kings, OG Testimony, The Blue Folder, The Art of Spiritual War, and the original first edition of the OG Testimony Is Not What You Think. All 4 titles now available over on Amazon. The brand new Go Higher show is brought to you by Greater Faith and Favor Life, GFF Life LLC, where the vision is believe greater, live greater. God bless.